Hey everybody, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today we're driving the all-new 2022 11th generation Honda Civic Si. This is a car I've really been looking forward to driving because over here at Daily Motor we love the 11th gen Honda Civic so much we gave it Car of the Year, and we did that before we even drove the Si variant. So this was a really exciting car. It exceeded our expectations in every category in just its normal form. So seeing that they've come out with another Si variant is very exciting, and we were so excited to drive it. This one is finished in blazing orange, kind of the stereotypical color for the Civic Si. Honda's had a lot of nice oranges with their hot Civics in the past body styles and generations. This one in particular has the HPT package, which really only means it gets some high performance summer tires, but since it's winter in Michigan, we are reduced to a set of all season Goodyear tires. They do say that they're a high performance all season, but they are still Goodyears. I'm not the biggest fan of them. And due to that, we won't have the maximum grip that this car is capable of. For one, because of the tires, and two, because it's 18 degrees outside and I'm absolutely freezing, which means the car is as well. We also get this little lip spoiler on the trunk. Speaking of the trunk, you've got a good amount of space back here for things. No spare tire in this Civic Si, but you do get a fix-a-flat kit and a funnel. So if you're into that sort of thing, then there you go. Super light and easy to close trunk. I think overall the styling of this car is just really nice. I like how they've integrated the different Si features into the 11th generation. The front bumper is a little different, and I think the front bumper is off of the Civic hatch, if I'm not mistaken. All right, I'm freezing cold. Let's step into the interior of this thing, and we'll start in the back seat because this is one of my favorite parts of the 11th gen Civic, is just how much room I have back here. You have to remember, this is still a Honda Civic. It's really turning into something like a baby Accord, which is what a lot of people called it when they first saw the new design. But it really is. I've got so much room back here. This is adjusted for me. I'm 5'11", and I've got tons of room in this back seat. As far as amenities go back here, though, we don't really have any. We don't even have vents in the middle here to point at yourself if you're hot or cold. But we do have power windows, so that's a good thing. Black headliner. We've got a little overhead light here that appears to be LED, so that's nice. And we do have an armrest with 2 cup holders. So I would honestly find myself being pretty comfortable back here just because of the legroom. I would trade the legroom, or I would trade the amenities for the legroom is what I should say, because it is really nice and comfortable back here. We do have speakers in the door panels as well because this car has the Bose audio system, as does every Civic Si, so that's pretty neat. The front and rear upholstery is a little bit different. That's something that Honda's been doing. We saw that in the Type R with the red front bucket seats and just a normal black rear seat. Same idea in this car. We just have normal black cloth back here with red stitching, and up front we have seats that are quite a bit different, and we'll show those once we get up there. The door panels as well, black back here with red accents up there. So slightly different. The back seat is not really anything super special, but the main point back here is just how much room you have. So let's go ahead and move up front so I can show you all of the things up there. It is a really nice place to be up here. Check out these door panels and check out these seats. I love the design of Honda Sport seats. I like how the upper part is just all one piece. We don't have a headrest in here. It's kind of like a Porsche. Don't kill me in the comments for that. Anyways, we have this kind of checkered material that Honda is known for, the red and black. We've got that on the door panel and on the seats. These seats feel very quality just from a touching them standpoint and a sitting in them sit point, I guess. It's so cold out, I have to get in. Unfortunately, no heated seats in any Civic Si or heated steering wheel. So I've just been leaving this running so it stays kind of warm in here so I don't freeze to death. We still have this really nice honeycomb design that goes all the way across the front of the dash And our vents are in there as well. We've got one here, 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 and then over there. The infotainment screen, that's still great. The actual Honda infotainment works really well. It reacts very quickly. We have wireless Apple CarPlay in this SI. I'm just choosing to USB in today, but if you wanted to do wireless, you have that option too. If you want to know more about the infotainment or the Bose audio system, make sure to check out Charlie's video on that. We already have one up on Daily Motor on just the normal Civic, but it's the same system in both. So make sure to check that out if you're interested in more of an in-depth review of that. These seats really do feel great. They're just manual seats to save weight, probably, or money, probably both. But they do feel nice. I wouldn't change anything about the seats. I do love a good sport seat. Every Civic Si is fitted with this nice 6-speed manual transmission, which is awesome. I love that Honda makes a car that's offered with only a manual, and they've still stuck to their roots on that with only offering the Civic Si with a manual. Drive mode selector down here, nice and simple. You can have individual, which is a mode you can configure yourself, sport, or normal, and that's it. We don't have Cadillac V levels of 20 different configurable drive modes. It's just nice and simple to the point, normal, sport, or individual, and I really, really like that. The steering wheel is nice. We've got it wrapped in black leather with red stitching. All of the buttons in here, the knobs, everything is so satisfying to touch. Those are really, really nice, as well as just the buttons on the steering wheel. Also, everything just feels so solid, and the touch points are really, really nice in this car, which is another reason we gave this thing Car of the Year, because it really just exceeded our expectations in every category. Also, before we take off, every Civic Si comes with a moonroof, which is kind of peculiar. You'd think with a higher performance variant, they would give you the option to have a moonroof, but nope, they all have it. But at least we do have a black headliner. It's a little bit sportier than a tan or a gray one. All right, well, with all of that out of the way, why don't we take this Civic Si out on the road so I can show you what this thing is like to drive. Electronic parking brake there. Seems to work pretty nicely. I'm starting to hate electronic parking brakes less than I used to. Obviously, I'd still prefer a good manual one, but I'm not super against them as I used to be. All right, so up front and powering this Civic Si, haha, is a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 200 horsepower and 192 foot-pounds of torque, which is actually down 5 horsepower from the previous generation. But what is 5 horsepower? That doesn't matter too much. And as I mentioned earlier, power is sent through a 6-speed manual transmission in every Civic Si. Woo! So this car is obviously set up for the enthusiast. They're all manual, they're all 200 horsepower, fun to drive cars, and it does a really good job at that. I've had fun the past couple days driving this thing around and driving it spiritedly. Let's put it into sport mode here because it sends all of the Fast and Furious engine noises through the speakers, and it's actually kind of fantastic. Come on, Honda fan, which lane are you going into? Just such like the stereotypical Honda trumpet noise comes through the speakers, and I'd assume a lot of people probably don't like this, but and usually I don't, but in this setting I kind of like it. It's kind of cool because you're not bothering anyone on the outside, and it just kind of makes you feel like a hero on the inside. Not to mention we have a really good active rev matching system with this 6-speed manual. It's pretty precise. It doesn't complain when you downshift at pretty high RPMs. It handles so flat. The steering is sharp and precise. The ride is pretty good as well. It's stiff, but it's not crashy stiff. You don't get the sense that you're gonna bounce off the road or anything like that, like a Focus RS. This thing handles itself really well, and I feel like it's got just the right amount of power for its chassis. I mean, it's really just fun. It's really fun to drive, and I'm sure that that's what Honda was going for, and they've achieved that. And it's really nice to have it all wrapped up in this platform, because we love the 11th gen Civic, and putting this 200 horsepower and 6-speed manual through it is really just a lot of fun and a pleasure. Pretty nice clutch and shifter feel. There is a little bit of rev hang. I can demonstrate that for you. Yeah, not as much rev hang as the previous gen Civic, but it does still suffer from rev hang-itis. It's not the worst though. It's pretty easy to get used to, and it really doesn't bother me too much. The only thing really is it makes it hard to shift it smooth and to shift it fast. So, you know, it's no CT4V Blackwing. You always get a little over rev between changes, but that's okay. Feel that front limited slip doing its thing. Every Civic Si comes with a limited slip differential as well. Really, really cool standard options. You can't really option these cars. You pretty much pick your color, pick your tires, and that's it. Everything else comes standard. Which to an extent I like. I just don't really get the sunroof part of that. But I guess they gotta do what they gotta do. Maybe it's chip shortage related. Although you'd think that'd mean that they wouldn't give you a sunroof. So just gloss over that. That doesn't make any sense. Now consider the fact that it's 19 degrees out and we're on Goodyear all-season tires. So we're not going to have the performance that we would have in the summer. Give this gentleman some space. Nevertheless, though, it handles really, really nice. It's so flat and so smooth, and I really love cars like this that don't have so much power that they're scary, and something you can just go out, drive, and have fun and not break a whole lot of laws. You know, this is a 200 horsepower little front-wheel drive compact car. I can row the gears in this thing and just make a whole lot of noise inside and have my own personal fun without anyone else knowing. And I really like that about this car. We do also have a really nice lane keep assist. Check this out, it'll take me around the corner. This is a really, really awesome system in this new Civic. Look how fast that rev matching reacts. Alongside that lane keep, we do also have adaptive cruise control. All of the systems work together really well. And there's my low fuel light. I've been hooning around too much. I will fill you up once I'm done recording, I promise. If anything, this Civic Si is really just exactly what I expected. It's really, really good, and I don't really have any complaints about this thing. The normal 11th gen Civic is so good, and if you're an enthusiast, I mean, this is the one for you. We also did a highway fuel economy test on the Civic Si, and not only did it beat the EPA, it well exceeded our expectations as well. So make sure to check that video out. Charlie did a really good job with that video, and that really puts even more things in perspective to how good of a deal this Civic Si is. So let's get on to price now. Every Civic Si is 27 grand. You don't really have any options. The HPT package adds on 200 bucks. So they're all around 27,000. You get to pick your color, pick your tires, and you're done. And I think that's a really good deal for this car. Sure, you don't get all the luxuries that you get in a touring hatchback or sedan. If you have to have heated seats, if you have to have leather seats, then the Si is not for you, but you can still have a 1.5 turbo manual Civic. It's just not an Si. So, you know, you don't have the Sport Tune suspension limited slip diff. You don't get the 200 horsepower or the special seats or anything like that. But the Civic is so configurable in different forms, sedan to hatchback to, you know, base to touring to SI. You can pretty much have it however you want, and there will be a Type R coming out. I cannot wait to drive that variant. So, all good things in the 11th gen Civic world. If I had to complain about anything, I would just say I wish I could have heated seats, and I wish I could not have a sunroof. But I mean, those are just petty things that don't really affect the driving experience in this lovely, lovely little hot compact. I can't help but to feel like I'm in one of those black Civics with underglow, stealing things off a semi-truck in the original Fast and Furious. I mean, listen to this. What were they stealing? TVs? If that was modernized, they'd be stealing PS5s. I need a semi-trailer to dart under. Alright everyone, well that's going to wrap up our drive today of this 2022 Honda Civic Si. I had a good time driving this car today, and overall I really just love the cars that are in this segment. You know, this car, the Jetta GLI, the Elantra N, those might be above the grade of just an SI. Those might be more Type R territory, but I just really love hot compacts and what they stand for and how fun they are to drive. And this SI is no exception. Honda's done a fantastic job on this platform. They've done a fantastic job on this SI variant, and I cannot wait to drive the Type R. I think that thing is going to be absolutely wonderful. A little bit unsettling. Reverse is right next to 6th gear, and sometimes when I'm on the highway going from 5th to 6th, I often feel like I'm going to grab reverse instead, and that's a little bit scary, but it hasn't happened yet, so hopefully it won't. Check rear seats. Yep, they're still there. All right, let's do one little walk around of this thing, and that'll be it. See that orange out here in the sunlight? Looks pretty great. All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for watching. Comment down below what you think about this new Civic Si. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. This has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.